Hi there guys, welcome back to day 10 of the month of Retro Brown, and as you can see wiggling in front of you, we are doing a Pichu only run in gold. This is going to hurt. Generation 2 introduced the concept of baby Pokemon, which meant that a lot of pre-evolution, well, the likes of Pikachu, Magmar, Electabuzz and that, they got baby forms. Which is cool, but at the same time, it creates a problem in one sense because these baby Pokemon are incredibly weak. Pichu, hands down, might be the weakest of all of them. So, we start off with a base stat total of 205. We're going to put Chikorita as the rivals Pokemon because that gives us the worst matchup. And we're going to go with, you know what Pika name can we give it? We're going to go for Pika Fail, because I actually don't know whether it's going to be possible to do this as a Pichu. So we'll see how it goes. Let's start off with going against the rival. We start off with two moves. We start off with Charm and Thundershock and Tail Whip, because we've gone up a level just to get to this point. Charm is a fantastic move. It reduces attack by 2 stages. And as long as they don't get critical hits, that's perfect. Because now she's only doing 1 damage and we've got 19 turns to get Thundershocks in. Let's talk about the stats while this is happening. Again, we've got a base total of 205, which is awful. And we've got two crucial stats, which are really, really bad, which are the HP and the defense. Probably the lowest that I've seen so far in these runs. 15 defense is awful considering there's a lot of physical attacking Pokemon. But what makes Pichu even worse than just its stats is its level up moveset. The best electric type move it gets is Thundershock, and it's the only attacking move that it gets via level up. The only move. It's really bad. We stopped learning new moves after level 11 of all things. And even though we're an electric type Pokemon, we are not doing well in Falconer's Gym. We don't even get to do 1 bit of damage on the Pidgeotto and we have to go level up. Level 9 we start off against this Pidgey and Mud Slap is just taking down our accuracy. It's super effective against us. But as long as we don't take too many... I mean, look at that. 1 tackle takes off 11 HP and we can't even tank 2 of them. We need to level up. What makes Pichu even worse as well is the fact that our TM moveset isn't great either. We can get Headbutt, which is a great move, fine. We can get Rollout, which will be helpful. We can learn Iron Tail, we can learn Thunder, we can learn Swift, we can learn Mud Slap. Everything after that is pretty garbage. With a lot of luck, we actually beat Falconer at level 10, which I was not expecting. With such a bad Pokemon. That then leaves us on to Azalea Town, where we have to go in the Slowpoke well, and we go into this fight poisoned. Now, Thundershock is an awful move. It's decent for the early game, but we're going into this fight and we're poisoned. Annoyingly, I don't use the best strategies and we do get taken down. That then leads us on to trying it again level 16, not paralysed or poisoned. And this gives us a much better time. The fact that we had to even beat level 16 to beat this Coffin, yeah, this is already a bad sign of how bad Pichu's going to be. I opted to go for Bugsy instead of the rival first, just because we've got a super effective move against that Cypher with Thundershock. Sweet Kiss is a decent move, but its accuracy is pretty garbage at 75. And if your accuracy is not 100, it might as well be 0. Even if your accuracy was 99, the algorithm would find a way to make sure you always miss every turn. It's crazy how the accuracy works in Gen 2. The Cypher, of course, is a big threat. All it used to do was with Quick Attack, and it nearly took us out in 1. So we're going to try against the rival instead and see how we do. But there's not really too many options we've got for this early game. We can't even learn... Oh yeah, we can learn Swift, which I might have to go back and get just so we've got a move that hits every single time. Basically, the way to get through these early battles, you need to confuse them with Sweet Kiss. After that, use Mud Slap to reduce the accuracy. Sweet Kiss again if they stop being confused. Hope they hit themselves with confusion. And use Charm to make sure their attacks don't do very much. It's a long-winded strategy, but it does work. But you've got to keep them confused. You've got to keep them hitting themselves. And to be fair, if you're using Charm as well, that actually doesn't help you in this strategy. Because you want them to hit themselves, and if you use Charm, their attack is lowered, and then the confusion damage doesn't do very much. So losing to the rival, I actually gave up and went back to Bugsy, see how we did there. And we had a little bit of a better time against him this time. Thundershock is doing big damage against the Cocooners. We do have the same type of attack bonus on it. And this time, the Cypher goes for Fury Cutter, which gives us a chance to do some damage. Because when he's confused, he's hitting himself. And that gave us an opening to actually win. It took a lot of tries to get to this point, I'll be completely honest, but yeah, once we've beaten Bugsy, there was only one thing left to do, and that was try and beat the rival. So we're in this battle at level 20 now. One of the higher levels we've had to do this fight at. Nowhere near as bad as the Wooper run or the Pineco run, but still, we need to rely on luck a lot here. Once we've got the Mud Slap set up, the Sweet Kisses set up, we've got to hope that we don't get hit by a critical Razor Leaf. Once we've got all of that set up, Thundershock, even though it's not doing very much damage, will just chip away at the Bay Leaf until we take it down. That brings us on to the Zubat, which of course will go down to 2 Thundershocks. It took a while to get to this point, but I'm glad we're out of Azalea. Before we even go against Whitney, we're going to go and pick up the TM for Rollout, and let's see how we do this time around. One other move we could really get in Goldenrod as well, we could go and pick up the TM for Thunder, but that means spending quite a lot of time over at the game corner, which at this point in the game you don't have too much money to work with, so you'd have to go and gamble, and that takes time. So we're going to leave that for a little bit later. The Clefairy's out first, and once we've got Sweet Kiss set up, we can start setting up our rollout. We want to be on the 4th or 5th turn of rollout to go against that Miltank, and annoyingly we miss, so this might be, this is going to be a reset because we are just not hitting. But that's how we're going to get past this Miltank. We need to set up those rollouts. We need that Clefairy to be confused. It's going to come down to a lot of luck here. So they learn rollout as well, which doesn't put us in a great position. They're going to start on rollout, and we've managed to tank it, and they miss their rollout in order for us to get the win. We're level 26 to do that fight. This is where that 20 base HP stat comes into be a real detriment. Same with that 15 base defense. 15 base defense, guys, come on. I know Pikachu is a very glass cannon sort of Pokemon, but Pichu just completely takes the biscuit with that. When it comes to Morty, I don't really have a good answer apart from rollout strats. We do get lucky in this attempt, where rollout works in our favour and our speed manages to take him out. But that was 1 in 10 chance that we actually managed to do that. It took us 10 attempts to get that one good attempt. And of course, like last video, I tried against the video in Burnt Tower just to see how we would do. Plus, of course, it's more levels, and that's one thing we definitely are going to need with this Pichu. Magnemite, of course, is going to be a big problem. It won't use Thunder Wave against us because we are an electric type Pokemon. But with Rollout, we can take through most of his Pokemon. And of course, the Zubat is not really of a problem. And we do manage to beat the rival in Burnt Tower. We do need those levels, we do need that experience. And even worse coming up is the 2 Black Belt brothers in Chuck's gym. Double Kick just does so much damage against us. I'm not too sure how we're going to really choose our way through this one, apart from using Sweet Kiss strats. So Sweet Kiss Mud Slap strats managed to get us through that Hitmonlee without taking any damage. We beat Yoshi and we go on to Lau. So Lau is probably the easier out of the two because Hitmonchan doesn't hit as hard, but in this fight it takes us so long to even get it confused, and it still hits through that confusion and through the accuracy drops. We finally get one hit and we do take it down, but level 39 here and we haven't even beat Chuck. Usually we're around about level 39 when we're heading over to beat Jasmine or to beat Price. We're already level 39, we haven't even beaten Chuck yet. And of course we need those Mud Slap Sweet Kiss strats for them to hit in confusion, get the Mud Slaps in to lower the accuracy, but we don't have much to work against with this Poliwrath now. If we can get the Sweet Kiss up and get some Thunder Shocks in, we might be able to do this. He's not confused anymore, but we managed to confuse him again. He hits himself confusion, and he gets a Dynamic Punch on 1 HP. Of course he does, and I really hate Dynamic Punch. I hate it so much. It's a run. It's an attempt ender in so many of my videos. I hate it. I hate the move. It never works for me. I never use it. 50% accuracy, and he seems to hit every single flipping time. Right. Thundershock finally takes down the Poliwrath, and we can move on to the next gym leader. The gym leader I'm most worried about is going to be Jasmine. So what we need to do is go and level up as much as we can. There are a few trainers to the south of Goldenrod if you start to surf. You can also pick up a rare candy around here as well. And because of that, we can just get some more levels and see how we do against Jasmine. If we don't beat Jasmine this first time, I might go over to Price straight away. But we don't have the greatest moveset at all to even attempt this, really. Using Sweet Kiss, it does give us a chance to set up the rollouts. So we're on a 4th turn rollout going in against the second Magnemite, but we are confused, we are paralysed. Yeah, this is not looking good whatsoever. Mudslap does take him out in 2 hits, but I don't know. You know what, let's go to Price, let's come back later, because I don't think level 41 is viable enough to do this. So let's head back over to Ecruteak, go up to the Lake of Rage, and, you know, we'll get Hidden Power. If we get the right Hidden Power, this might help us out. If we get Hidden Power Fire or Fighting, that'll really help. Once Lance has Hyper Beamed his customary random guy, we'll go and fight the Rockets here, get a few more levels, and then we'll have to beat Price. After that, we're forced into going back against Jasmine. And I'm still don't think that even at the level we're at now, we're going to have a good time. One big problem that I'm starting to see in this later game as well is the use of grass types. We've got Karen who's got a Vileplume. We've got Koga who's got Bug and Poisons. The moveset we've got and the moveset we can learn is not going to be very useful. I mean, this late game we're still using Thundershock. I haven't been back to get Thunder yet, but I will get it soon because Thundershock is just losing its potency. Last up is the Dugong, and finally we beat Price. Even this took a few times, and Price is one of the easiest gym leaders in the game. But we move on, and of course all that's left is Jasmine before we can go to the post game. The late game. So, Mudslap still, even though 16 levels above, doesn't take him out in 1 hit. So, it does give us accuracy drops, but I'd rather they one-shot it. We're 57 HP going against Steelix, and to be fair, I'm surprised we even survived 1 Iron Tail. So I don't know what we're going to have to do differently here. Okay, so we've gone with Swagger. Hopefully that's going to give us something better than Sweet Kiss, because Sweet Kiss has got quite low accuracy compared to Swagger. Like Swagger's got 90% accuracy versus Sweet Kiss 75, so it made more sense to do that and give them the attack boost so they can deal more damage to themselves in recoil. The big problem with that is the Iron Tail is doing even more damage now, and it puts us in an even worse position. But by using Mudslap, we can get their accuracy down as low as possible, give them more chances to hit themselves in confusion, and hopefully cheese our way through this fight with accuracy. Oh, he misses Iron Tail, and that was so crucial. He misses it again, and finally at level 50 we take down Jasmine with a Pichu. I'm not happy at that end level, but we do pick up the TM for Iron Tail, which will be useful. It's not got the greatest accuracy, but it's a very useful move. The rival in the underground, yeah, we're going to go with Swagger strats to start off with, because then we can use Thundershock to deal the finishing blow. Magnemite is next, and yeah, we're going to go with Swagger. Swagger was the game-changing move in this entire run. Even Mudslap, when we're nearly twice the level of that, Magnemite does not take it out. Yes, attack is our better stat out of special attack and just normal attacking moves, but with 40 and 30, not even respectively, they're awful stats. We're not doing much. This is like a Marrow level run. Okay, we take down the Sneasel with Rollout and we're onto the Meganium. Rollout does big damage and Body Slam also does big damage, but we're just that little bit faster and managed to get our hit in before he does. So the rival's been beaten. That brings us on to the end of the Rocket quest with the Executive in the tower. Now, we shouldn't have too bad of a time against him. We've got rock moves, we've got Mud Slap. We should do alright if we can actually hit our rollouts. This happens so many times in the run. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, so we are going to go into this just using rollout. Pretty much just using rollout has got us through 90% of all tough battles in this run. That accumulative damage is so crucial. And it makes so many fights so easy. But once we've beaten the Executives, there's one challenge left for Johto before the Elite Four. We are on to Claire, and we have finally taught ourselves Thunder and Return. Two very powerful moves which are going to help us out here. Combined with the Swagger strats, we should have a good chance to beat Claire with this moveset. So, Dragonairs, they're doing big damage with Slam, but that's because we have got terrible HP and terrible defense. Kingdra is up last and we are already paralyzed, so Surf will do big damage and take us down. If we can get through this without being paralyzed, we actually have a chance. Swagger is our best move to give us that chance. And of course he hits himself Confusion. That's perfect start. Dragonair number 2, Swagger. And he hits himself in Confusion, perfect. Return is doing big damage there. We're level 57 here. Swagger the Dragonair. And we get paralyzed. Of course we get paralyzed. It's Gen 2. We always get paralyzed. That brings us on to the last Pokemon. We've got full HP here. Dragon Breath does big damage and we managed to get our Swagger off. Return is probably the best move to be using here. We could use Thunder. And they missed their Hyper Beam. Oh my word. That was lucky. Come on. Oh, she's going to use a Hyper Potion. Okay, Return doesn't even do half damage. We're going to need to Swagger them. How are they missing all of their hits? Lucky Confusion hit manages to save that attempt. And Pichu has beaten all 8 gym leaders. We go and pick up the Dragon Fang after Claire's had a little paddy. And we can move on to the Elite Four. We do pick up Dragon Breath, which of course is going to get sold so we can have more monies. And we'll move on to the Elite Four, where we need to beat the rival for one last time. So, the rival here, I don't know whether he's going to be too difficult or not. We're at level 60 here, nearly twice his Pokemon's level. Return takes out Sneasel in 1, but that's because Sneasel's got pretty bad defenses. I know that from my Sneasel run. Return, I'm just going to go for Return on the Magneton, try and take it down as quick as possible. We are paralyzed now, which is not good, but that brings out the Haunter and we've got Thunder. If we can hit that Thunder, that's a one-hit KO. He goes for Curse, and we hit ourselves in Confusion again, and the Curse damage takes us out. I'm really looking forward to when I can use a Ghost Pokemon in Gen 2 and use Curse strats, because it's very annoying to go against, but I reckon it would really help us out in one of them runs. So we are going to Swagger the Magneton this time, and it's doing damage to itself, which is perfect. We do not get confused this attempt. Next up, of course, is the Haunter, and we need to hit this Thunder. We miss the first one, and we get Cursed. The second Thunder hits, and that brings out the Kadabra. So, Kadabra is physically weak, and I'm going to try and set up a bit of rollout here. Oh, nearly switched Pokemon now, which is what I don't want to do. And rollout takes out the Meganium. Last up is the Golbat, 5th turn rollout, and it's an easy one-shot. And that is the rival done in Victory Road. That is the last time we will see the rival this turn. It brings us on to the Elite Four. Now, the Elite Four is going to be difficult. Very difficult. We need to hit these Thunders if we're going to have any chance of getting through a lot of these Pokemon. With Thunder being a 120 base power move, with the stab bonus, that's probably putting it around about the 150 mark. It is our most powerful attack to be moving forward with. So, Return is there if we've got a Pokemon weak, like resisted to it. But even Slowbro can't even stand up to a Thunder. That's how good of a move it is. Xatu, as long as it doesn't hit us twice in a row like it does there, we could have won that. So, as long as Thunder connects, we can actually have a chance to win. We get the Thunder there, and we haven't taken any damage, which is perfect. Return does big damage on the Jinx. And next is Executor. Return is the best player here, and we do get seeded, which is not great. It uses Reflect, of course, which even makes us worse. But Slowbro is weak to Thunder, so we can use that. Last time we took it out in one, does the same here. And last up was Xatu. Can we hit the Thunder? We do. And that is Will. You know what? Actually not too difficult of an Elite Four member for a Pichu, but it still did take us multiple tries. Next up is Koga, and Koga we do not have a good answer for in any respect. We've got Return, which is probably going to be the main move we use here, but it's not really going to help us against the Fortress coming up next. We're going to Swagger to make it confused, and we're going to try Thunder because it's such a powerful move. It actually takes it out in one. I was not expecting that. I tell you, I really was not expecting that. Next up is Venomoth, and we're going to go for Return. Psychic does decent chunk of HP, and that brings us on to the Muck. So we are going to keep using Return here. We do get a critical hit, and we're on to the final Pokemon. We just need to hit a Thunder here, and we do. So we actually get a decent first time win against Koga. And that brings us on to Bruno. Now Bruno I've got a lot more respect for in Gen 2 than in Gen 1. In Gen 1 he's completely awful. In Gen 2 he actually does pose quite a bit of a problem. Or at least in the runs that I've done so far. So we know that Return, we know that they're going to go for Dig in this very first instance. And Dig does a lot of damage. So it probably would have been better to go for Swagger and risk that attack increase. And then I realised we've got no answer for Onix, apart from Swagger. What actually I should have done here was teach myself Iron Tail, because that's super effective against Onix. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Iron Tail is the perfect move for those Onixes, and Thunder also takes out most of these Pokemon in one. So, Iron Tail does have bad accuracy. To be fair, all of our good moves have got bad accuracy. Thunder's 70% accurate, Iron Tail's 75% accurate. Yeah, we're not in the greatest position. Returns our best accuracy with 100%. And of course, Swagger has its own drawbacks. So it's a very risky strategy that we're going with. Basically, if we can hit this Machamp with a Thunder, we should take it out. We don't, it only just hangs on. And we can take it out with Return. But annoyingly, he goes for a max potion. But 2 returns takes out the Machamp. That just leaves 2 more members left. We've got Karen, and then we have Lance. Karen is always a bit difficult, no matter what Pokemon you're going with. Iron Tail is a perfect move to use because it has the chance to drop their defences, which is great for that Umbreon because it's very bulky. The Vileplume, I've got no other good answer for it apart from using Return. Petal Dance is very powerful, and next is the Gengar, so we need to get a Thunder off here. And he does go for Curse. We're paralysed. Yeah, I don't think we're going to win this attempt. Not in any sense. Flipping heck. Okay. This whole Karen fight draws down to whether you get paralysed or not. If you can get past this Vileplume without being paralysed, you can pretty much win it very easily. Because it means you can outspeed everything else. You've got a chance to get those big hits in first. Even against Houndoom, we do outspeed it, but Return is going to do big damage. Flamethrower does a lot of damage, I'll be honest. And that brings us to the final Pokemon, which of course is Murkrow. Very defensively weak Pokemon. Can't even stand up to a Return from Pichu. And that's Karen. All came down to whether you were paralysed or not. This brings us on to Lance. Now we've got a great answer for this very first Pokemon. We do not have a great answer for the majority of his other Pokemon. Thunder is a one-shot on the Gyarados. I expected that. Return does just under half HP on the Dragonite and on the weaker Dragonite as well. So yeah, this is not going to go our way. We're going to have to level up, or we're going to have to look about our movesets here. So we go up to, annoyingly, level 85 was the first time we actually beat him. So Thunder, of course, takes out the Gyarados. Dragonite. It actually turned out that Thunder was the best player to be using against all of his Pokemon. Annoyingly, we get paralysed here. And yeah, we reset. Again, like the Karen fight, if you get paralysed, that run is pretty much... you might as well not do it. The best play to do, actually, is to swagger his Gyarados so that he uses Rain Dance. From there, that means that Thunder actually hits every single time when the rain is out. Gives us the perfect strategy to go through every single one of his Pokemon. Level 91 here, and now Thunder is one-shotting most of his Pokemon. We get the paralysis there, and the rain stops, which is fine because the next Pokemon coming up, we don't really need Thunder for. 2 returns takes out the Dragonite, and the Aerodactyl is next. We can use Iron Tail here, or we can use Thunder. Because we missed that Thunder, we have to go for Iron Tail, and of course we miss it. We miss it twice in a row. And Hyper Beam hits. We miss it so many times in a row. We're on 33 HP going against this Charizard. We have to go for a turn here, and thankfully it's a one-hit KO. But we are nearly twice its level. So, yeah. Level 91 to beat the Elite Four. That does not make me confident about this post-game. But what time did we finish this in? Let's find out. Pichu is the Hall of Famer. Level 91. 8 hours and 12 in-game minutes. That's an incredibly slow run for one of mine on my channel. Gen 2 is definitely a much longer game than Gen 1. And that's even just to get to the Elite Four. We've got the post-game to have a look at now. So this post-game, there's no real threats apart from going against the likes of Red and Blue. His Pidgeot goes down to a Thunder, and next is his Rhydon, which we have an answer for with Iron Tail. Doesn't take it out in one, and of course Earthquake does massive damage. So we need to think about our strategy a little bit more here. Of course, Thunder is definitely the best move to be using here, but we are going to use Swagger to see if we can get the attack increase, which is exactly what we want. With our attack increase, Iron Tail will now do massive damage. Yes, we hit ourselves in confusion here, but our speed is immense. So once we can break through that confusion, we actually have a good chance to sweep his entire team. Iron Tail hits with Rhydon, and of course it is now a one-shot. That leads us on to Alakazam, and Return will do more than enough to take it down. Next up is the Executor. Return will do big damage as well, and it's a one-shot. This is why we needed that Mirror Move Swagger. It actually really helps us out. And this happened on one of my other videos as well. We sweep his entire team at level 96. It took us 5 more levels to get through Kanto, and yeah, we're beating Blue with a Pichu. That's all going to change here at Red though. We don't have a way to get Mirror Move Swagger on ourselves. But what we can do is Swagger that Pikachu. Because annoyingly, it does hit us there. We don't have a recovery move yet. We could teach Rest if we really want to. But I really just want to sweep through his entire team. Snorlax is out next. And of course, Iron Tail, we want to get those defense drops. But our defense is so bad, the Body Slam just takes us out in one. So I actually tried a different strategy this time. I actually went for the Cursed Toxic strategy to see if that would do any better. We do get paralyzed here, so we will have to rest up. But I thought, considering I've never used Toxic in one of these fights before, let's give it a try and actually see if it can help us, because I don't want to resort to double team. So once we set up the curses, we can rest to get our HP back. And waiting for the right moment, we can then use Return or Toxic, and we can gradually take them down. So, We can keep setting up our cursors while he's being toxicked. And we are now at full stack for attack and defense. It doesn't mean that our special in any regard has been increased though. In fact, that's what their Red's team specialises in, is special attackers. Once we've finally woken up, we can use return, and it's a one-shot. Is it going to be a one-shot on the Espeon? Oh, this is not looking good. Snorlax will be up next. No, it's not going to work. In fact, it didn't work so many times that I'll spoil it for you guys now. The toxic strategies did not work. It just didn't. We really want to be one-shotting his Pokemon, but we just couldn't do it. We were just not bulky enough to take hits. We couldn't set up quick enough to actually deal out hits. Pichu became a really annoying Pokemon. I mean, I kind of expected that with choosing it. It's not exactly a great Pokemon. But with all those factors put into it and the amount of attempts, we had to resort to double team. I tried so many times at level 100 and I could not do it. Which, if you've just been trying it so many times, it means there's only one thing you can really do. You have to use double teaming to beat the game as a Pichu. Which, as you know me, I am not happy about that. But at least I can prove that it is possible to beat the game as a Pichu. It means it will go into that F tier. But where on that F tier will be dependent down to its end time. Once we've finally set up all of our curses, all of our double teams, at this point we can start sweeping through with return. I really hate double team strats. My viewers hate double team strats. I think everyone hates double team strats on a solo run because it's so cheesy and so broken. But all I'm doing right now, considering we know that it's not possible to do it without it, is just proving that with the move it is possible. We reluctantly take the win. And with the Blastoise going down from one final return, we kind of hang our heads in shame. Yes, we've completed it, but at what cost? We've broken the rules of the solo run, and of course this means that Pichu has landed in the F tier. Let's see those final moves and stats. Curse, rest, return, and double team. Yeah, and the end time? 9 hours and 35 minutes. One of the worst runs that we have done to date. And that's the end of the video. It has been quite a long one, like the Marrow one a few videos beforehand. But I hope you've enjoyed it, seeing the pain that you've put me through with doing a Pichu run. Let's see what we get next time on the wheel. So, first up is Chinchou. Another electric type Pokemon, but this one's got a unique typing with water and electric. I love the Chinchou line, you know what, we might go with that. Second is Miltank. It has been coming up on the wheel quite a lot, so I might just use it and get out the way. Third is Sunkern. Yeah, I'm not doing a Sunkern run. You know what, we're going to go with Chinchou. We need an electric type that's actually fun, and I think Chinchou will be that. So if you got to this point in the video, please do the usual YouTube thing. You know, subscribe, like, share, all the above, you legends. And we will see you tomorrow with another Kanto run and another Chinchou run in a few days. Take care, guys. Appreciate you.